Hey everybody, it's Master Gallengeist here, bringing you my review for Captain America Issue 7, 2023. Pretty awesome looking cap cover there. Doesn't really have anything to do with anything, but it's still pretty cool. Now, I wasn't really that much into this issue. Most of that goes down to the art style, which gets down to how the faces are kind of done. It's kind of inconsistent to me, and not really kind of like what I'm into, and the story is kind of, I don't know, it didn't just grab me as much as I kind of wanted to. We'll see how this kind of goes out, because this is more kind of like, more in the mystical kind of realm with the whole change agents and everything like that. So we'll see how this kind of goes. I don't think that Cap needs to be pegged to just like espionage or certain kind of weird kind of crazy things. It's just, we'll have to see. It's more of the execution at this point than anything nutty. So we'll see how this kind of goes. Oh, evidently this is Intermezzo part 1 of 2, so we'll kind of see how that kind of works out. So this is where we kind of start off with the art. It kind of gets inconsistent with like details, because later on Steve's face gets kind of more detailed, but a lot of the time it's just, I know that you have to watch out for like lighting and all that kind of effect, but like there's always like a lot of dark kind of stuff going on where like his face is in shadow that doesn't seem like it should be or whatnot. I don't know, it just seemed off to me. And then we see that pretty much everything's done with the place. It's been put back up. Everything's back to the way it should be, the way it was when I lived here as a kid with my mother. And I feel like I finally reached some peace with that. Maybe we both have. I decided to go across the street for a better look, because sometimes you have to go farther away from something before you can see it for what it actually is. The closer you get to the Rocky Mountains, the less you actually see the Rocky Mountains. Better. Perfect. Then something happens, something that shouldn't happen, that can't possibly happen. The window on the second floor, that's where she watched you go to school every morning, isn't it? But it happens anyway. And then we see that Steve's like, that's impossible. Nobody could have gotten behind me because of like, well, first, there's only one person he told that story to. The other is that it was empty when he got there. There's no other way there. So who's at the other end of the voice that just asked that question, and how did she get here? How do you know that? I was there. Highly doubtful. She loved you, you know, more than, well, life itself. And who are you? Not really paying attention, are you? A name. You can call me Lyra. I can call you that, but is that your name? Names are arbitrary, just sounds imposed upon us by others before our souls and bodies are even formed. What you're asking isn't who I am, but what I am. Fine, what are you? And she told me. Prove it, I said. And then we see, like, them pretty much talking the panel, and then, like, flowers, and she did. So what do you want? Your help. Why me? Because of who you were, who you are, and who you will become. She hands me a sheet of paper she wasn't holding a second earlier. Come to this address tonight, midnight, you'll understand. And if you are who you say you are, why do you need my help? Come to the front door tonight and find out. After all, you won't have any other plans for midnight. So, anything interesting going on? And then we see that he pretty much screws around with Sam, which I don't mind Sam's look here. It really hasn't lined up with the kind of Sam look that I've seen in like kind of other things, like even the comic he had, how he kind of is drawn in the Avengers. Not that I hate it or anything, it's just not lining up to what I've seen in other kind of ones. So he decided to do an experiment. To give the address Lyra gave me, I'd have to leave my place by 11:30 p.m. So they pretty much are just saying that they've got nothing going on. It's 10:25. The movie Sam picked ends at 11:45. You're served, Lyra. Why do the action scenes in these big movies always look fake? Too much CGI. The eye can tell the difference, even if you're not aware of it on an unconscious level. Even if you're not aware of it on a conscious level. Which, yeah, it's really kind of interesting to see them talking about the kind of action scenes and whatnot. I'm like, oh, you're talking about stuff that I usually talk about in other things as well. And I'm like, yeah, because it draws you out. 10:43. Oh, come on, right? Makes no sense. That's why I think we should open up a consulting firm for folks making superhero movies, which I would totally want to see that. Steve's not a chance. I'd rather deal with Hydra than Hollywood. Gotta have some standards, you know. Fair. 11:20. No sign of entry, but we're still getting motion? Okay, I'm on my way. Got a split, Steve. Security company I use got a motion detector alert from inside my apartment. Is everything okay? I didn't see anything that looks broken into, but better check to be sure. Finish this another time? Sure thing. Let's see. 11:25. 5 minutes to spare. Okay, well, I guess. And then he pretty much drives to the place where Lyra told him to. It's like, okay, let's see where it goes. And then we see that Sam pretty much says that, like, what it was that a cat got in, and had kittens there. It shouldn't have picked it up, but it did. Life pops up in the strangest places, you know? Yes, it does. It does indeed. The note says park around the block, then go down the alley. Looking around, I wonder how long it'll take for somebody to steal my motorcycle. Then I fold down a part of the page that I swear wasn't there earlier. Don't worry, your bike will be safe here. Well, alrighty then. It's kind of weird. I don't mind these things happening. It's like, alright. And then he sees the front door. It's like, alright. Guess I found the place. And then we have Steve talking to this one dude. Hi, is there a show tonight? There's never not a show tonight. Is that a yes? Sure, why not? How much for a ticket? $1. Unless you ain't got a dollar, then there's no charge. If everyone can just walk in free, why ask for $1? Do I look to you like a guy with answers? Well, now that you mention it, do I look to you like a guy who asks a lot of questions? No, not really. So you want a ticket or not? I only have a $5. Do you have change? Do I look like a guy who asks? Never mind. Keep the change for the next 4 people who don't actually need it. Thanks, Chief. Have a good show. What the hell have I gotten myself into? It's like, yeah. Now, granted, some of the artwork works here, like showing the big kind of room, seeing all the kind of colorful kind of wing patterns on this lady. Would you like me to show you your seat? I don't know my seat number. That's okay. I do. I know everybody's seat number. So you work here? Oh, sure. I've been here for a long time. I know every inch of this place like I know the back of my wings. Except backstage. I've never been backstage. They keep telling me I'll be allowed to go there one of these days, but so far, nope. Maybe tomorrow, though. We'll see. Here you go. One on the aisle. Would you like a program? Sure. Wait, this one's blank. They all are. Descriptions appear as the program grows because it's never the same twice. That way, you know what you've seen. Enjoy the show. Hey, and then we see that this, like, Teresa chick pops up and, wants to do his astrological chart. Sure, why not? Excellent. $5. What's your birthday? September 28th. Libra, great. Caring, supportive, all about justice and protecting people, 1922. I'll be right back. So we see them talking, what? He's who? And then she's like, oh, sorry, I'll do it for free. It's okay. Could I get your autograph signed? Teresa, come on, it's starting. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, and all stops in between, beings and non-beings, mundanes and mutants, the lost, the hoping to be found, and the hoping to disappear. To all the souls who entered here tonight, seeking shelter from the storm. Now, granted, here I'm alright with the kind of definition and detail in Steve's face and the use of light and dark. But in most places it kind of muddies it, mainly in the front half. Welcome to the front door. And just pretty much telling what's kind of going on. And then, if anybody's new, leave your wars and your tempers and your violence outside. You know how people say, check your ego at the front door? Well, this is what they had in mind, even if they didn't have it in mind. There's no pain here, no struggle, no violence, and no death, because we're under protection, aren't we? You bet we are. Let there be night. It's like, okay. And then we see this kind of like explaining the various different kind of programs that we get through. Let's see. Steve saying that there's no tricks. What they're doing, and they're doing it beautifully. It's not just tricks. They tell a story about what it is to be isolated and alone, to fear being with someone else because they might get hurt. They are a song in notes no one has ever heard before, sad but hopeful. And as every line is finished, I can't remember what went before. A song about how we lose what we cherish most and time steals all. A comedian tells jokes in a language completely unknown to me and the rest of the audience, but somehow we understand every word. The jokes are hysterical, but no one's laughing because we're stunned by the intelligence behind them, revealing truth as a way of doing that. Act after act, performance after performance, using the language of the soul, and they are beautiful, all of them, as we also see them being kind of listed in the corner as it's being written on the program. And then the one with the wings, sorry to pull you away, but can you come with me? Is there a problem? She's waiting for you, waiting to take you backstage. Just a little more. This is as far as I can go. You're not coming? I haven't been invited. And then we shift, and he is in his cap outfit, and we see Lyra there. Welcome to the Pale City. Before it was destroyed, the city wasn't as old as the universe, older even than creation itself. What happened to it? My brother happened to it. He is not literally my brother, but that is the only way to explain it to the one who was not there. To get any closer to the truth would destroy your mind. He is my opposite. Life and death? Go no further for your own good. It's like, oh, okay. There's being cryptic, and then there's just being like, oh, alright. How could I be in uniform? I didn't bring it. Even when you're not wearing it, you're wearing it. You just carry it inside. I just pulled it out. That, true. Did you enjoy the show? Yes, they're amazing. They're vulnerable, hunted, and in terrible danger. As there was once a Pale City, there's always been a front door for the special ones, those who can make the world a better and more beautiful place. Change agents. Yes, I believe you've heard that term recently. There's a change coming, Stephen, a nexus point. You know it because you fought those who would stop it. That change will flow directly through this place. Okay, nice linking up there. During that fight, your vibranium alloy shield absorbed some rather vast energies at the moment you destroyed Asmodee. So in your world, it looks like that. But here, it will always look like this. And my thoughts return to quantum moments. And we see his shield is more like crystal. Right now I'm standing here, right now I'm having this conversation, right now I'm being bored, right now I'm dying. My brother was not always as he is now. He was beautiful once. His task was necessary, but he tempered it with kindness, until he went mad. What happened? My brother was used to death in small numbers, done quickly and over. But when murder became a machine, and that machine devoured souls by the tens of thousands every day, year after year, and when vast numbers were erased in a flicker of a second, it was more than his mind could bear, and he descended slowly, gradually into madness, which led to a decision. And we've seen that linking up with, like, of course, World War II with Cat, that the human race needed to start over. He decided that his task was to hit the reset button. The others in the Pale City tried to stop him. They realized in their last moments that the power that they had unleashed was now too great for them to stop, which is why that task now falls to us. It's like, okay, we'll see how this kind of goes. I'm glad that we're building upon this story. It's just like, alright. Let's see how this kind of works out and how Cap kind of works out. Because I don't mind putting Steve up into a big kind of one, but this is kind of like Lucy kind of cosmic kind of being kind of stuff. So we'll see how it kind of like, I don't need complete definitive answers and stuff, but like kind of more of a tightening, if you will. Because at first we're like, Asmodee was doing this, but evidently it was like another kind of person that was kind of behind that kind of stuff. It's like, oh, okay. For a long time, the front door was simply a place to celebrate life, but now it has become a last-ditch defense against death itself. With the destruction of Asmodee, who was at the right hand of my brother for a very long time, he has begun sending out his forces to test our defenses, looking for weak spots, and tonight they will make their first major move. But between the two of us, they will get far more than they bargained for. What makes you so sure I'll sign up? I watched you from the wings, Stephen. I know when someone is falling in love with this place. That's why I wanted you to come. Why I wanted you to see. I'm like, I mean, Steve would protect anybody anyway. And the thing is, yes, you're going through and trying to get Steve to love it as well, but we as the audience also have to get into that buy-in that Steve's in love with it as well. I don't know what will happen tonight, Stephen. He will not destroy me because he knows he needs me for there to be a reborn world. But there are other things he can do to me, get me out of the way. That is why I need someone to join the battle, not just to protect those you saw tonight, but to ensure that the others on their way arrive safely. In the past, it had always been my burden and my joy to escort them here. But as the attacks grow more frequent, I can't risk being away when the next one comes. Because if I can't get back in time, all of this and all of them will be gone. We're waiting for someone, Stephen. I don't know who it is. I can see only a silhouette. You will know him when you see him. When the time comes, you will have to bring him here for safety, for the sake of the future. They are coming. Do you feel it? If my brother should come into the fight, do not look at him directly. It is more than any mortal can withstand. Peer only through the crystal of your shield. Ready? Always. And he goes unready for it. It's like, okay. Then it begins to be continued as we see them fighting all manner of crazy creatures. Now, again, at this page, I really like the artwork for because the creatures look gnarly. Lyra using her powers are great. Steve's just kind of there at the moment, but it looks pretty well. I like that kind of bit. But overall, I'm like, oh, okay. I don't mind getting Steve out of his element and dealing with kind of crazier cosmic level kind of things, but you have to be careful with that because Steve's usually good on figuring out different ways of handling those. It's more of the execution of me. It's not horrendous at this point, but I'm just off enough to be like, okay, so it's a lot of stuff that we can't really get. I don't need complete exposition dump and everything just kind of like spoon-fed or just vomited on me to understand and absorb. It's just, I'm like, all right, the interest level is just less there. It's like, oh, here's this. It's like, oh, okay. She just comes, explains herself, even though we really wouldn't know or understand it, I guess. And I'm more interested in the aspect of Steve, like, actually helping these people and everything, and kind of going through more. I think we need more of that than just to be like, oh, I can tell that you're in love with this place. It's like, he's only been here for, like, 5 minutes, maybe? Or at least however long time it's been for, like, me to read through him, like, going through with this. I understand he connects with the people doing the whole kind of stuff at the front door with their whole kind of tricks and everything, but we need a little bit more time with that. Like, I think we would have needed this to be a couple of issues, actually, which is really kind of weird for me to say. I usually don't say that much, but this seems very kind of fast-paced more, and I would have rather him be introduced and get kind of breadcrumbed to Lyra, and then him finding the front door, getting maybe like a full issue of him kind of like interacting with the people at the front door, understanding who they are before getting tasked with this whole stuff with the change agents and linking us up with the other ones. I don't really say that often with any kind of story. It's kind of rare for that to happen. Normally, at least with comics, it's more drawn out to a point where I'm like, I'm kind of done with this. This, I'm like, I kind of need more information rather than I don't have time to explain what I don't have time to explain. That's a Destiny reference where a character was like, we need, you're trying to get plot details and they're literally like, I don't have time to explain why I don't have time to explain. It's like, okay, granted, we have not reached that complete level here, but it's like, Now, Steve still works out here. I don't feel like he's been off or mischaractered or anything like that. I'm just not that much into his face design in most instances, mainly because of like the level of detail and sometimes the shadows just kind of like making it kind of like weird looking for me, where it's kind of like just going more into the darkness, where I kind of like it more here, where you really see the definition. I'm like, okay, now granted, I don't need it to be like that all the time, alright? I understand how much work going into that kind of level of detail is. I was just like, oh, okay. I've had that happen with other kind of comic books with faces just being really kind of weird, mainly in Iron Man ones. Which, granted, I have different kind of objectives with Iron Man ones where I'm like, if you don't do armor right, which he's normally armored, and the tech kind of right, then I'm like, So granted, that doesn't have an excuse for having faces that look kind of weird, and you can't really tell the difference between Bethany Cabe and Mary Jane Watson and Black Widow and Pepper Potts. It's like, there's like so many redheads, and I don't know who the fuck I'm looking at right now. That happened once. But we'll see how this kind of works out. This seems to be like a two-parter, which will still lead into, I think, the change agent stuff, which I remember kind of looking into in the solicitation. So we'll kind of see how this kind of works out. So those are my opinions on the issue. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. If you liked it, if you didn't like it, if you agree with me, if you disagree with me. Also, like and subscribe, and I hope you have a good day.